let's look at some productivity applications. There are quite a few open source Office suites available in the open source community. The one that's installed on Ubuntu, that's packaged with Ubuntu operating system, is called the LibreOffice, and there's a website for LibreOffice. It's developed by the Document Foundation. So LibreOffice is derived from a OpenOffice.org, an earlier open source Office suite application. So the history about LibreOffice is that it started with a private Office suite called Star Office. It was developed by a German company, and the Star Office was later purchased by the Sun Microsystem. And the Sun Microsystem actually released a major portion of the Star Office suite source code to the open source community, and that started the OpenOffice.org, this open source Office suite. And later on, Sun Microsystem was purchased by Oracle, and Oracle had some disagreements with the developers of the OpenOffice.org. So developers of the OpenOffice.org left Oracle and started the Document Foundation. And this Document Foundation has reorganized the code, rebranded the codes, and presented it to the open source community as LibreOffice. So by the time that I started recording this video, LibreOffice is actually quite mature, very easy to use, and the nice thing about LibreOffice is that it can read and write Microsoft Office files. Any kind of documents generated in the Microsoft Office can be opened and read and modified using LibreOffice. And another thing about LibreOffice is that it has a very large community of developers, so people are constantly working on the source code to make improvements and to maintain it and to provide support. So if you actually Google LibreOffice tutorial or documentation, you can find lots of resources that teach you how to use LibreOffice. And if you go to the LibreOffice website, LibreOffice.org, this website, you can find quite extensive documentation about. So if you go to Get Help, and then you have documentation, and then you can find quite good instructions about how to set up and how to use LibreOffice. And the LibreOffice is pre-installed is bundled together with the some components of the LibreOffice is bundled together with the Ubuntu operating system. So if you click on Get Started PDF, you're gonna get this particular page. So LibreOffice actually has several components. You have a Writer, you have a Calc, you have an Impress, Draw, Base, and a Math. So Writer is very similar to Microsoft Word. Calc is similar to Microsoft Excel, and Impress is like the Microsoft PowerPoint. So these three packages are pre-installed with the Ubuntu, are pre-bundled with the Ubuntu operating system. Once you have Ubuntu installed, you get these three applications automatically. These three applications: Draw, it's an application for you to make graphics. Base is a database application, and then Math is an application that allows you to type very complicated mathematical formulas. These three are not installed automatically for you in the operating system, but you can also you can install them by yourself in the software center. So in the following, I will primarily talk about Writer, Calc, and Impress. But if you are sort of interested in studying or learning how to use LibreOffice in more depth, you can Google, and then you can find lots of material on the internet, and also lots of videos in YouTube that you can actually to use as a study guide for for learning how to use LibreOffice. Now let's look at the LibreOffice Writer, which is the equivalent of Microsoft Office Word. On my desktop I have a document. It's called a coverlet.docx, and if you have used Microsoft Office before, you'll see it's actually a Microsoft Word file actually, but I can actually edit it using LibreOffice Writer. If I double click on this document, it's gonna open LibreOffice Writer automatically. So if I double click, and you can see that it's if you move your cursor to the panel, it's gonna tell you what the application actually has been opened for editing this file. It's a LibreOffice Writer. So, but if you don't like this particular way of opening an application, you can. There's another way for you to do that. Basically, you have to open the LibreOffice Writer first. So it's not on my launcher. So I will go to the dash and type just a Writer. And then it's gonna open LibreOffice Writer, and with an empty document that's named Untitled 1. So if I want to open this particular document, which is called coverlet.docx, I can go to the menu bar. What I was telling you guys is that the default behavior for Ubuntu is that the menu bar for a particular application is integrated into the panel, so it's not actually integrated into the application window. So if you go to the panel and go to the menu bar of LibreOffice Writer, select the file and then open, and then it's gonna give you this dialog box, and all you have to do is to navigate to the particular file you wanna open. For example, I have to go to desktop, and then I have this particular file that's available to me, so I can just click open. Then it's gonna open the text file that I was trying to edit. So what I was showing you, I've shown you the menu bar, and then there's a toolbar. This is a toolbar, and this toolbar is configurable. You can decide what buttons will go on to the toolbar. And so if you have used Microsoft Office before, this kind of a interface should look quite familiar to you. And you have a new button for you to generate new documents, open button for you to actually open a box, which is equivalent to the menu file open. And then once you have done some editing of the text file of the file that you have, this button called save is going to light up, and you can sort of try to save your file. And there's also a key combination for doing the save, or it's Control S. It's Control S. So a good habit is to press the Control S often, and make sure that all your changes are saved. Because if you have a computer crash and you forgot to save it, you're going to lose many of your work. And pressing Control S is not a very difficult thing for you to do. So you can send them by email, edit files, export directly as PDF. So one of the good things about LibreOffice is that you can once you're done editing, you can just generate a PDF file from your text file from your document. This is also true for other LibreOffice applications. Actually, you can print them. These two buttons are for spelling check. So this button will check through the whole document in one run, and this one will actually auto spell check. So when you type your text, it's gonna automatically check the spelling for you. Cut and copy. Cut, copy, paste. So cut is Control X, Ctrl X. Copy Control V, Control C, and then paste Control V, and then some kind of formatting bar. These two buttons are very important. For now, it's grayed out because I haven't made any changes to the file yet. It's redo and undo, and they also have shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. Undo is Control Z, I think. So you can also get to the undo and redo in the edit menu bar, in the edit menu. So Control Z is undo and redo is Control Y, and repeat is Shift Control Y. So all those useful commands actually have keyboard shortcuts. And this particular button is called a non-printing character. So if you actually click on this button, it's going to display all the carriage returns and all the empty spaces. So a space is represented as a dot if you turn this thing on, and a carriage return is represented as this kind of symbol. So if you turn it off, you won't be able to see them, but if you turn it on, it's gonna tell you where are the non-printing characters. So, and for this role, it gives you some formatting buttons. You can actually change the style, change the font, change the size of the font. Is it bold, italic, underscore, and alignment, text alignment, numbering on and off, numbering a section of text, bullets on and off, indentation, controlling indentation, and then font color, highlights, background color. So, and this button is called styles and formatting, and it has utilities when you try to sort of format a certain format the entire document or other things. So let's look at one example, and then there's several other things. For example, this is a ruler bar. So this ruler bar is useful when you try to align your text at certain locations. And on top of this ruler bar, you have several indent markers. So this one that I'm hovering my mouse over is called the first line indent, because usually you want to indent the first line of each paragraph, and this marker actually controls how much you want to indent. So all those markers can be sort of moved if you actually press your mouse down at the marker, and you can sort of move it. You can shift it along the ruler bar. And this is called there's also a marker just right underneath the first line indent marker. It's the left indent marker, and then on the right you also have a right indent marker. So this left indent marker and right indent marker allows you to control the alignment of the whole text of the document on the left margin and the right margin. So these are the indent markers and the ruler bar. And if you are careful enough, you'll see there's a very small symbol here. It's called a Tabcontrol. It's controlling how the tab stop will behave. For now, it's left. So if you have a tab, if you tab your text, suppose I type some text and tab them to a certain location, then this button L actually left actually means that the tabbed text are going to be aligned on the left side, and this behavior can be changed. So if you click on it, then it becomes this kind of a thing. So it means that the tabbed text are going to be aligned on the right side of the text, and then if you click it one more time, it's gonna look like a reversed T. So this symbol means that the tabbed text are gonna be aligned in the center. And then if you click one more time, it has changed the symbol. This is alignment according to the floating point. If you are typing numbers using floating point numbers, so all the tabbed text are gonna be aligned for at the floating point. So this very small thing actually has utility for controlling the tab stops. So let's click it back. So it becomes an L, and So now let's look at one specific example. It is a cover letter that I grabbed from the internet. It's a sample cover letter that I grabbed from the internet. It gives you some idea about how to write a cover letter if you are trying to apply for a job. And let's try to format this particular document. If you want to look at the non-printing characters for this particular document, you can just click on it and you'll be able to see where the returns are actually. So for example, if you look at this particular line, it doesn't have a return at the end of the text. So when you type the text, you press the return key or press the enter key only when you are at the end of a certain paragraph, and you don't have to press an enter at the end of a sentence or the end of a line, because the application is going to automatically wrap the text for you. You press the enter only when you have finished a paragraph. And some of the very short lines actually have enter or return character at the end, because that's a paragraph actually. It's a paragraph with just one line. But usually if you are just typing a very long paragraph, you don't really have to sort of press enter at the end of every line. The text are going to be automatically wrapped for you. So, and if you look at each of the dots in your text, it actually represents an empty space. So if you have multiple spaces, it's going to appear as two dots. That's two spaces. So by turning this button on, it allows you to discover some of the unnecessary empty spaces. And every time you have made some changes, it's better to just type Ctrl S to save it, so you don't lose any of your edits. And as soon as I made some changes to the text, it's gonna the undo and the undo button is gonna highlight. If I click on undo, and then the redo button is gonna highlight, you have access to redo. So suppose I wanna insert a date. Suppose I wanna insert a date when I write it at this particular location. And this, let me turn off the at this particular location. Suppose so what I can do is that I go to the insert menu and click on it. It's gonna give me a choice called fields. And then there's the top one is date, and then I can insert my date at this location. So it's gonna give me the date when I actually sort of generate this document. So suppose this is not the format that I wanted. I want a date that's in a different format. So how can I change the date format? I can right click on this particular field, and then there's an option that's called fields. Left click on it, and then it's gonna allow me to select the format of the date. So the first column is called type, and then I have just one option that's date. And then for the second column I have two options. One is called date fixed, the other one is called date. So if you actually pick date without the fixed, then every time you open the document and make some changes, the date is gonna change to the last time that you made the modifications. If you use date fixed, then the date is going to be fixed to the first time that you generate the document or inserted the date field. And then the right column gives you a selection of formats. So suppose I want the Friday, December, so this kind of format. I can just pick on it and then click OK. Then it's gonna give me this this kind of a format of the date. So And then let's look at how we can actually format. So this is the address of the sender of the letter. It is a cover letter, so it's a letter actually. So this is the address and contact information of the sender, and then this is the address, the name and address information of the receiver of the letter. So one common practice is that you move the address and contact information for the sender to the right side. To the right side of the letter, and also in the bottom, you use you move the yours sincerely, John Doe, those information to the right side of the document. So one way of doing that is just to select this portion of the text. You can just drag your mouse over the portion of the text that you want to modify, and then just click align right, and then it's gonna move everything to the right side of the document. This is one way of doing that, but it's not exactly what I wanted. What I wanted is that the text itself should still be aligned on the left side, except that the whole portion of the text has been moved to the right. So let's try a different way of doing this kind of thing, and we'll practice how to use the indent marker, right? And so let me click on undo. So I'm gonna sort of move my text to the original position, and then I'm gonna move my indent marker. So if you just grab the top one, it's gonna just change the first line of each of the paragraph. But if you grab the bottom one, it's going to shift everything. It's going to shift everything for the selected text. So I'll just grab the bottom and then move it. I'm going to move it to 4. So this ruler bar becomes handy. I can align my indent to like a location 4. So now you can sort of see what's actually the effect, right? So the text is still flushed on left side, but the whole portion of the text has been moved to the right of the page. I'll do the same thing for the bottom. I'm going to do that. So just to move this thing to 4, I think, and then that looks more like a letter, right? Looks more like a letter. Again, I'll save it. Control S. So suppose I want to change the margins of the page. So the default margin is 0.79, I think. So how do you actually change the margin of the text? You can sort of see the empty spaces surrounding the text block. It's about 0.79 inches. So if you want to change this margin size, what you can do is to go to the format. Go to the format menu, and then just select page, and then it's gonna give you this dialog box, which will allow you to oh, my margin is actually set at 1 inch actually. So suppose I want to change the margin to something else. For example, I want to change it to like a anyway, I'll change it to like a 0.79, and then I'll use 0.79. I'm just basically typing the numbers, the floating point numbers, using my keyboard into the left, right, top, and bottom margins, and then I can just has it changed? I think it has changed, right? So if I go back to format and then page, now the default the margins are 0.79 inches, and there's also some other kind of fields that you can adjust to make sure that the page setting is exactly what you wanted, right? If you want to experiment, with different settings, you can use the apply button. So suppose I increase my left margin by like a few. I can click on apply, and then you can sort of see how the text actually changes. Is it what you want it? If you don't want it, you can actually go back. You can go back. So the difference between apply and OK is that OK is going to close this dialog box. Apply will still leave the dialog box open, and so you can try different settings. So if it is what you want it, then you can just click on OK and close this dialog box. Right. So you can change the margin quite easily, and what I was telling you is that you have several buttons that can control the format of the text, right? So suppose I want to turn this section of the text to bold. All I have to do is to use my mouse to drag over this particular line and then click on this button, or just type Control B, and then it's gonna become bold. And if you want to change the sort of font, you have lots of choices for fonts. Liberation serif looks like a Times New Roman actually, so it is actually the default font. If you want to change the size of the font, the size of the fonts, you can use this use this box. So if I want to reduce the size of my text throughout all the letter to a different font size, I can just do Control A. First I move my mouse to the text box, to the document, and then press Control A. I will be able to select the whole document, and then I can just choose the font size I want. So suppose I want to do 11, then the size of the font will becoming smaller. Another thing that people often do is to insert page numbers. If you want to insert your page number at the top of the document, you can put it into the header of the document. So if you want to access the header, all you have to do is to click on any of the empty space, and then it's going to bring up the header. And if you want to sort of change the style of the header and do some other manipulations, you can click on this, and now you can type any kind of text you want to display. Suppose I want to display the page number, and then I type a page, and then all you have to do is to go to the insert menu, and then go to the fields, and then pick page number, and then it's going to give you a page number. Suppose you don't want the page number to be on the left side of the document, you want them to be on the right side of the document. All you have to do is to select page, select this portion, and then click align right, and then it's going to go to the right side of the page, and all the pages are going to be numbered now, starting from the number that you used. So starting from page 1, right? So suppose you don't want it to start from page 1. You want to start from say page 0. All you have to do is so first you're going to move your cursor to the first line of your document, and then what you have to do is to go back to the format menu, and then select paragraph. And under the paragraph dialog box, you have lots of tabs. You want to go to the text flow tab, and then make sure that you have breaks. You have checked the insert in front, checked with page style, and then you can adjust the page number. Right. So suppose you want to start from page 0, just to change it to 0, and then OK. Now it starts from page 0, and then page 1, and then page 2. So that's how you can actually modify the header. Suppose you want to put the page number in the footer instead of the header. Let's just delete. If you want to sort of delete the header, all you have to do is to click on this down arrow and then delete header. It's asking me if I want. So if you want to put the page number to the footer, all you have to do is to click on any of the pages in your document, any of the page of your document at the bottom, and then you're going to bring up the footer. Click on the add, and then you can put page, and then insert the page number. suppose you want to change it to starting from page 1. All you have to do is to put your cursor on the first line of the document, and then do format, paragraph, text outflow, and then increase your page number to 1. Okay, and then it's going to start from page 1. If you want it to align on the right side of the text, what you have to do is to click on this align right or Control R. Then it's going to come to the right side of the text. And don't forget to save your documents once you have made the changes. And then let's look at the bullets. If you want to sort of use the bullets or number the bullets, suppose in your file you have a certain section that lists all your skills. For example, the skills related to the job description include, and then you have a list of all your skills. So how do you actually make it into a bullet points, right? So the thing that you have to do is to first you select the portion of the text by dragging your mouse over that portion of the text, and then all you have to do is to click on this button. It's called a numbering on off, or just F12, right? And then you can just click on it. It's gonna give you some sort of automatic indentation, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then it's gonna give you a list. But if you want to change it to a list without the numbers, then all you have to do is to use the Shift F12 or bullets on off, this button. Then it's gonna give you the bullets without the numbers. So that can be done without any of the difficulty. Don't forget to save your text. So if you want to sort of increase your indentation of your bullets, there's a bunch of increase or decrease the indentation. Then you have a bunch of buttons for you to make those adjustments. Demote one level, move up, this kind of thing. It will allow you to adjust how the lists are going to look like. And for this kind of letter, you might want to put a picture of your signature, a photo of your signature, a scanned copy of your signature into the text, for example. So suppose I have a scanned copy of some kind of a picture that can be used as a signature. So that's on my desktop, right? It's a JPG image. So all I have to do is to drag this JPG image into the text and position it somewhere that I want to position it. So suppose I want to position there, but the text looks too big, right? So you can just make some adjustments so it looks smaller, right? And then move it to the right location. Then you have a picture that's inside of your text. Of course, you can format your picture also. You can format your picture. If you double click on this picture, it will bring up some of the options that you can actually set in order to make your picture and text looks better. Of course, you can also add captions to the picture. For example, suppose this is not a signature but a figure, and you want to put a caption on it. You can right click on this picture, and then there's a caption option that will allow you to put a caption on your figure, right? So that's pictures in your text. Another thing that people often do is to use sections. Suppose you want to organize your text into different sections, for example. So how do you actually do that? All you have to do is to suppose I want to insert a section at this location. So what you have to do is to go to the insert menu, and then you have an option that's called section. You can click on section, and you can give it a name. Give the section a certain name. So the default is section 1 because this is the first section I'm gonna insert. And then columns. Some people like to use multiple columns in one page, or for a certain section of the text that might be useful. So at this stage you can sort of select the number of columns. Suppose you want to like 2 columns, evenly distribute content to all columns. You can adjust the spacing between the two different columns. Suppose I want to increase it to like a few inches, to like a few. Let me give like 0.2 inches or something, right? Separate the text. into two different columns, right? And then you can just click on insert. Now it's giving you two brackets, right? Two rectangular brackets with empty stuff in it. So suppose you want to move a certain text into this particular section. I can just select this portion of the text. Control X is gonna cut it, and then I move my cursor into this empty square box, and then just Control V, and then all the text are gonna be organized into like two different columns. And that's for you to actually do different sections, right? If you for now, all my paragraphs are kind of separated by an empty line, actually. So sometimes people would like to sort of indent the first line of each paragraph. So I talked about how to use the first line indent marker, right? So if you want to select all your text, and if you want to indent the first line of the so suppose I just select these two paragraphs and I want to indent the first line. So all I have to do is to move my to ½ inch maybe. Then it's gonna give you an indentation for the first two paragraphs. And then if I want to do the rest of them, indent the first line by like a ½ inch, right? So this one will look quite strange because you don't really want to sort of put this paragraph into like two different columns or something. So, but I think it's okay. Right, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So there's one more thing that's quite useful. That's the spelling checks, right? So for every word that looks wrong to the writer application, it's gonna highlight it using a red underscore, wiggle line underscore. So what you can do is to right click on any of the letters that looks wrong, right click, and then it's gonna give you a suggestion for correction. University, right? Electronics, right click on it, electronics, right? Customer service, this one, services, right? It's gonna check through the text for you. This one is a BS or something. Okay, so now that's the automatic spell check, right? So if you are not so eager to correct your words, you can finish typing all your text, and then after you have finished the formatting and doing everything else, you can just click on this button, spelling and grammar, and then it's gonna go through the entire document for you to make corrections. So it discovered some of the spelling error, so it's making a suggestion to me. So I'm gonna correct. Can you check in? Yes. It's making so, but that's an address name, so I won't correct it. I'll just ignore it. Ignore once. You have three buttons here: ignore once, ignore all, or add to dictionary. So if you add to dictionary, then this word is gonna become a fixed word in your dictionary. It's not gonna so the writer will treat it as an ordinary word if you type this word next time. So I'll just do ignore once, then spelling check is done. So I'll just save it again, right? And suppose I want to sort of, at the beginning I was telling you, you have this particular option that's called a tab control. So let's look at how we can actually use that to control the formatting of our text. Suppose I want to add a few tabs. For now, there's no tabs. There's no tabs on my ruler bar. Suppose I want to add a few tabs. I'll add one. I'll add a. So for now, my tab control is sort of the centered alignment. Let's click on it. Click on it. So it's left aligned. I'll put a tab at 1 inch. So all I have to do is to click on the ruler at 1 inch. Then I have a left tab. and then I'll change it. I'll change the tab control to right align, and then put another tab stop at 3 inch, for example, right? And then I'm gonna change it to like center aligned, and then put it at 5. Put a new tab at 5 inch. So you can sort of see you have 3 different styles of tab. That's on the ruler. So let's tab once. Now I'm at 1 inch, right? I'll type some name John Doe, John, John Doe, right? And then that's left aligned. You see, that's left aligned. And then I'll give some kind of a date, for example, that's 10/11 17/00. So you can sort of see it's right aligned, right? And then tab again. I'm gonna give it some kind of a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should be center aligned. And then return, tab again. And then give it some then center aligned. Do you see how you can actually use the tab control to format something that looks like a table, right? If you would like to remove those tab control, all you have to do is to move your cursor to that particular tab control, and then just drag it towards your text, towards your document, and then it's gonna just disappear, right? Just drag it into your text document, and then all the tabs are gonna sort of disappear. Of course, you also have the option to insert a table. You also have the option to insert a table. For example, if you want to insert a table, you can go to insert, and then you have a option that's called table, and then you can just adjust the number of columns and the number of rows you want to use. For example, let's give it like 5 rows, 2 columns, insert. And of course, you also have lots of tools for formatting a particular table into different looking. So but anyway, that's a table, right? So sometimes you want to enter mathematical formulas, for example. In that case, if you want to do very complicated mathematical formulas, it's better to install the LibreOffice Math. So I have installed LibreOffice Math. It looks like this, LibreOffice Math. It's an application actually, but you don't really have to launch it. After you have installed it, it's going to be automatically integrated with the Writer and other LibreOffice applications. So if you want to insert a certain mathematical formula, so all you have to do is to again use the insert menu, and then you have a math. You have an object. It's called an object, and then go to formula. Now it's going to open the LibreOffice Math for you. So if you want to enter some really complicated formula, you can do that. Suppose I want to do some kind of a. So here you can choose what kind of operator you want. So let's function. Let's do something like that kind of thing. That's a square root. No, it's this kind of a symbol. And root, I'll just use A, and then let's do B. Let's see what's going to happen. So as soon as you change the content in the box down here, the formula in the text is automatically adjusted to the content that you entered, and the formula can be really complicated, and that math application allows you to do very complicated equations actually. And after you are done formatting it, you can just click on this button to export it as PDF. Don't forget to save it first, and then you can just export as PDF. You can just do just put it on, and then just do save. Now you have on your desktop, you now have a PDF file. That's your document that you just created. with some of the formatting that you have done. In Ubuntu, if you want to look at or read a PDF file, you can just there's a application that's installed. It's called a document viewer. It's called a document viewer, and if it's not on your launch bar, you can go to the dash and then type document viewer, and then it's gonna allow you to look at or read PDF files. Or what you can do is just double click on the PDF file, and then it's gonna automatically open the document viewer for you, and then you can look at the PDF file. And also you can install Adobe Acrobat Reader. Do I have Acrobat? No, I don't have Acrobat Reader installed on it, but you can go to the Software Center and try to install Acrobat Reader in Ubuntu operating system, and then you can read the PDF files. Another thing that you can do is to use a terminal. Suppose you use a new terminal, right? You open a new terminal, and then you can just go to the directory where you have stored the PDF file, right? And then you can sort of see where the document actually is, and then you can type a command called evings. Evings is basically a document viewer, but it's actually very similar. And then type the command, type the file name of your PDF file, and then it's gonna just type, and then it's gonna open the document for you. So inside of the terminal, you can also open the document viewer and read a PDF file. So if you are done reading it, you can just close it and then quit the terminal also. So the Writer application actually has lots of options, or lots of the things that it can do to format a particular text. For example, we didn't talk about the line spacing, right? But you can actually easily change the line spacing by selecting a portion of the text and then go to Format and then Paragraph, and then you have indents and spacing, and then you can just change your line spacing from single to, for example, double, right? And then it's going to change the line spacing. So basically its capability is comparable to Microsoft Word. What you have to do is to explore by yourself, Google, and read their documentation that you can download from the website. Sometimes you can find very useful stuff just by Googling, and the best way to learn this kind of software is by using it. So when you're using it, you will have many different kinds of problems, and by solving those problems by Googling and by trying to find out the solutions of those problems, you will be able to learn how to use this kind of software.